Hey guys, Nick Gaspard here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about, does requesting a credit limit increase hurt your score? And the answer is yes, it can hurt your score if the credit card company does a hard inquiry. I'm going to try to explain it the best that I can, the quickest that I can. So yes, it could affect your score if the company that you're requesting the credit limit increase does a hard credit inquiry. So what a hard credit inquiry is basically they run your credit, they check it with whichever bureau, TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, whichever one they use. Some of them use all three. So that will show up on your credit report as an inquiry, and that can affect your score. So some credit card companies don't do a hard inquiry. They do what's called a soft inquiry. And basically they're able to look at your score without actually running hard inquiry on your score. So Capital One, for example, they do a soft inquiry. And then there's other banks, I know Navy Federal Credit Union, they do a hard inquiry. So you don't want too many hard inquiries on your credit a short amount of time, and that will negatively affect your score. Another thing I want to touch on is basically when you're requesting credit limit increases, you want to have a plan and you want to have a strategy. You don't want to just do it all the time, and you want to make sure your utilization is low and your inquiries are low and you're paying your bills on time. And I recommend having an actual plan, using certain cards, maxing out the spend on certain cards before you request the credit limit increase. So just have a plan before you go into it. Don't just all willy-nilly, like I'm going to request a limit increase on this card, I'm going to request a limit increase on this card, because you can negatively affect your score. You can lower your score. So you want to be methodical. You want to have all this stuff thought out. You want to plan out your credit limit increases ahead of time. I usually plan mine about 6 months ahead of time, the cards that I'm going to request a credit limit increase on. To answer the question on the video, it's, does requesting a credit limit increase affect your score? And it can lower your score if they do a hard inquiry. The simplest way to figure that out is basically just Google whichever credit card you're requesting the credit limit increase. Does Capital One do a hard inquiry? Does Wells Fargo do a hard inquiry? Or whichever credit card you're applying for, just Google it and they'll tell you whether they do a hard inquiry or not. So if they do a hard inquiry, it can affect your score. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you just do an inquiry every now and then, it's not going to affect your score that much. But if you're applying for a lot of different cards and you're applying for a lot of credit limit increases often, and you're getting those hard inquiries and they're adding up, that can lower your score. And if you're adding new accounts a lot, that can lower your score. So just be methodical, think things out. If you're trying to get credit limit increases, plan it out, the cards that you want to do, plan your spending on those cards, plan that stuff out ahead of time. Google's a wonderful thing. You can Google hard inquiries, whichever credit card that you're applying for the credit limit increase, you can do that ahead of time. And even if they do a hard inquiry, sometimes it's not the end of the world. Just make sure your utilization is low, you're paying your bills on time, you're doing things the right way before you request the credit limit increase, because otherwise you're just kind of wasting that inquiry. Or, if you're not paying things on time or your utilization is too high, then you're going to get turned down. And you basically wasted an inquiry if you don't plan it out right. So the quick answer is yes, it can affect your score. It might not, but just remember the bigger picture, plan things out, be methodical, plan it out ahead of time. So I hope this helps. I'm just trying to keep the video short, trying to answer your question about credit limit increases. And I'm going to have more videos coming. Please like the video if you see value. Please subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.